Hey everybody, this is Alan Fine, and I'm here with Donovan White, who is the Director of Tourism for the Jamaica Tourist Board, and we're going to do a deep dive in Jamaica. We're going to talk about everything you wanted to know, new developments, and connectivity, all here on Insider Travel Report. We have so many great things to report, but let's make sure that they realize that they can tell their clients about it, and that there should be no fear about any sort of State Department warning. This was not a new warning. It's just an old warning that's been updated. Let's explain that.
Well, the U.S. State Department issues travel advisories periodically. They have, if you visit their site, there's over 200 travel advisories listing more than 200 affluent countries around the world. So the current advisory on Jamaica at level 3 has been the same since early 2022 and has not changed. And so it's not a reissue. It's actually it's just it's just there. It hasn't changed.
Right.
We're
The way they do it, it sort of pings the press, and it's inappropriate.
Well, I suppose anything coming from the State Department as with a new date would suggest that it has something has changed or something has happened differently. But we've Jamaica's maintained a very strong diplomatic relationship with the United States, and we continue to do that. And those discussions are continuing to happen between our Foreign Affairs Ministry and the State Department. And we know, we're confident that all the improvements we have continued to do and see in the destination will prevail over time. Only last week, our Prime Minister, the Most Honourable Andrew Holness, did make mention in an interview that we have tripled our investment in national security over the last 5 years. We've added more policemen to the police force. We've added a whole new police training for that's beneficial to the tourism area. We've created specially tasked areas within the tourism resorts for police officers to provide safety and security for not just Jamaicans but also for visitors to the country. So
I don't want to stress that this is normal. This is just continue investment in the destination. It has nothing to do with any kind of warning.
Absolutely. Thanks for making that point, because you're absolutely correct. It's part of the continued development and evolution of our society. And we continue to do that. We continue to be proud of the product we provide to the world that has allowed us to bring 4.1 million visitors to Jamaica last year, spending $4.3 billion US in tourism spend. So we understand the business of tourism and what it involves and what it means to the Jamaican economy, and we are going to continue to do what's right to protect it and to provide the services that it provides to visitors to the country, but also the benefit that it gives to the Jamaican economy.
And you just rattled off those numbers, but you actually beat 2019 numbers last year.
We did. So our new record high would be 4.1 million visitors to the island. We're very proud of those numbers. We've been trying since we entered post-COVID return of travel to best those numbers. We did that in 2023, and all indications suggest that we will continue to grow. Last year was a huge growth year at 16% growth over 22 and 7% growth over 2019. We anticipate that the growth numbers will slow because that's what happens with growth. You have a huge growth year and then you taper off and you grow organically from there. But we are confident that our growth will be sustained because we are continuing to have new investment in our tourism product. We have over 2,000 new rooms being open in 2024. We're anticipating about 15,000 new rooms over the next 5 to 7 years. With new rooms come new airlift. newly airlift carry, increase visitors, spend more, the economy benefits. So it's a cycle that we understand, that we have continued to nurture and to build on, and we believe that we're on a good success path that we can continue to grow.
Well, let's get a close-up on that airlift and the connectivity. There are airlines that are almost partners with you. Let's talk about you can't have growth without people being able to get there. So let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, we this winter that we're in now, January to April, we have from the United States alone 1.1 million air seats committed to the destination. That's a growth of about 121,000 seats over last year. That's massive growth. We will have new services from American Airlines flying out of Miami into Ocho Rios, which is our third airport in the Ocho Rios area, starting February 24th. We're so excited about that because that opens up a whole new opportunity for arrivals into Jamaica. We have Frontier also coming out of Cleveland, starting March 9 as well. So that's on the new side, and we continue to work with all our airline partners assiduously to continue to mold and expand those relationships, because we understand that as we continue to grow, they're continuing to see opportunities with us, and we want to make sure that we're continually working with them to seed these opportunities early. So there are no drop balls and there's no missed opportunities. And so far, so good. We are looking forward to meeting with them, obviously, at Roots in Colombia in March. That's going to be a huge opportunity for us, again, because, as I said, 2024, adding 22,000 new rooms requires close to about another 250,000 more seats. Right. So those are big negotiations that we have to get on top of. And then for 2025 and onwards, we're going to be adding probably close to the same 2,000, 3,000 rooms every year for the next 5-7 years. So, it's a big time for us for tourism in Jamaica and indeed the wider Caribbean, of course.
Now, when you're bringing in that many people, you've really they've thought it really completely through, because now when you get to the airport, mm-hmm. you've made it less friction.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Our airport expansions have been going apace for the last 2 years. Started with the expansion of the runways, expansion of the check-in areas, expansion of the departure lounge areas. The one in Montego Bay is absolutely fantastic, with the opening of the new Bob Marley restaurant in that area, which is quite interesting. But what we've done in recent weeks is we've added 8 e-gates in the arrival area, in the immigration hall to be exact. And what we've been able to achieve with that is a faster processing of the travelers coming in to reduce the number of queues and lines.
So let me just say, e-gates, electronic, being able to do it ahead of time online.
Right. And so before the e-gates, we introduced the online immigration declaration form. That is now tied into the e-gate. So when the traveler completes the immigration form before leaving their host destination, when they get to Jamaica, they're queued into a kiosk, which they then they put in their passport information. Everything that they entered online would have come up. Once it's correct, they get a ticket. Once the ticket is green, they go through the e-gates, and no friction, no processing. You get onto the beach and get your pina colada. Exactly. Like every other system, of course, if the information is incorrect that was entered, then you'll have to make an adjustment, which will then give you an X on your ticket, which means you'll have to see an agent to be cleared into the destination. So it's no different from the technology-enabled immigration processes that are around the world, including the ones in the United States. So we're moving apace with technology where that is concerned, because that's the fastest way we believe we can smooth out the process and allow for travelers into the country to have a hassle-free experience getting in and getting out.
And As we sweep past the airport, now we're talking about how quickly you can get to a hotel, and then new hotel development.
Yeah. The new hotel developments, we have Princess Hotel will open its doors for the first time in Jamaica in May of this year with 1,000 rooms. Rio Acrel will open its brand new hotel in Trelawney in May as well, 745 rooms. And we have Unico, which is a new brand to Jamaica as well, currently being built in Montego Bay, 345 rooms, scheduled for opening either very late this year or early next year. That's going to be a fantastic property. And there are several other expansion and developments that are in train that I will talk about at a later date. That are more scheduled for 2025 and 2026. But there's lots of exciting things happening on the investment side of Jamaica, because we firmly believe that as we continue to expand, and this is part of the vision of Minister Bartlett, really, I have to give him his credit where credit is due, because he certainly believes that the welfare of the workers of the industry, especially the hotel worker, has to be taken into consideration as we continue to expand and develop. And what he has been able to argue for and negotiate with our investors around is the inclusion of housing developments as part of their hotel developments, so that the workers of their hotels can have more suited accommodation closer to their work environment. That is also scheduled to go apace as well with some of our new developments.
This is a form of sustainability. I mean, we sometimes think about it as garbage. How do we? But it's about sustaining so that tourism doesn't hurt.
Correct. It is absolutely part of the sustainable tourism approach, which is to ensure that the workers are living better, living more comfortable and closer to work. Things like training and development and certification becomes part then an easier path to achieve, because the worker is more comfortable, they're closer to work, they're traveling less. So it's part of the whole cycle of improving service, improving training, improving service, improving the customer or the visitor experience, and therefore improve the opportunities for those visitors to come back again and to tell people about Jamaica, which then gives us the sustainability of being able to grow over future years. So it's, as you rightly said, it's a very thought out process around how we can continue to not just sustain growth, but sustain growth in a way that is beneficial to the ecosystem of Jamaica and to the benefit of all Jamaicans.
There's even more to it. We're going to talk about roads in a moment, but I do want to say, for those of you with a Rolodex of people who travel to the Caribbean and they want to gamble, at a later date, keep watching this space, because there may be hotels that are going to have casinos.
Absolutely. It is part of the pathway forward in terms of some of the new developments. The casinos are, part of our space in terms of tourism globally, and Jamaica will have in coming years hotels that offer casino as a service to their guests.
Part of the amazing planning is you've got to go from the airport to the hotel, and also the locals. Again, it's sustainability when you upgrade roads. Let's talk about that.
So the government of Jamaica, led by the Prime Minister, of course, the Most Honourable Andrew Holness, has embarked on a program of the continued expansion of the highway networks that connect and interconnect Jamaica. And most recently, we opened the Southern Coastal Highways from the Harbourview roundabout, which is just 3 miles away from the Kingston International Airport, Norma Manley, to Portland. That is particularly interesting because what it will do, it will allow for new expansions to take place in St. Thomas and Portland from a touristic perspective. Portland is long regarded as one of the most beautiful places on earth. And so to be able to have faster access from the airport into the town of Port Antonio is going to be beneficial to tourism any way you take it. And that will open up the access to investors and investment in those regions. We also expanded the same South Coastal Highway in the other direction towards the Midlands of Jamaica, which then connects you to the southern coastline of Jamaica, which then connects you into Negril. So there's lots of thoughts being given to that. There's also plans to expand the northern coastal highway from Ocho Rios all the way to Negril as well, to reduce the traffic build-up, and that obviously affects the commute of road travelers, which includes both locals as well as tourists, whether they're traveling by bus or by rent-a-car. So we want to free up the arteries across the country so that the highways become A, more accessible, but B, that you can move from point A to point B in a more timely fashion. So all of this is given consideration, and all of this is being undertaken by the government of Jamaica, not just for touristic purposes, but obviously for the benefit of all Jamaicans who use our roads.
And soon you'll have the problem other destinations have, which is stop going to where everyone goes, go to the less traveled places.
Absolutely, and you can get there so easily now that you have more access.
Now, we can't talk about Jamaica without talking about Jamaican events.
Well, event marketing and event tourism has become a real big area of focus, especially since COVID. I think that across the world, people are looking for new and different things to do, new and different reasons to travel. And events is certainly, part of that equation. And so Jamaica has a wide variety of events that happens every year on island, and we are seeing more and more travelers coming in specifically for events. 3 weeks ago, we had the Rebel Salute event in St. Anne, which is a 30-year-old event that happens every January in Jamaica.
Right now,
in February is Reggae Month. It's also the love month of Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. It's Reggae Month because we wanted to create an opportunity to celebrate the impact of reggae music on the world of popular music. Both Bob Marley and Dennis Brown, two sons of Jamaica, two stars of Jamaica, two stars of the world, really, of music, were born in February as well. And we celebrate their birth on the 1st and the 6th. And there is a tremendous amount of events that are curated throughout the month during Reggae Month in February. In March, we have the Coffee Festival, which is brainchild of Minister Bartlett, that happens in the Blue Mountains, we're the only place in Jamaica where coffee truly grows. We have in April a carnival in Jamaica. In May there are a number of events that happen on the back end of April into May, like the BRT weekend, Best Weekend Ever. I could go on and on. There's a Reggae Sumfest in July. There's Dream Weekend in August. There is so many opportunities for travelers to go on our website, visitjamaica.com, go to our events page, and just scroll down through our events calendar for the year from January to December. And I guarantee you'll find something there that you'll want to send your travelers to.
You got to know that Dream Weekend is 5 nights, 25 parties.
That is exactly right. And like I said earlier, the promoters of Dream Weekend only recently published on Instagram that certain tiers of their ticketing is already sold out for August. And so, we're excited about that kind of development because it shows that people are not only, coming to Jamaica for the beach, to lie on the beach and have a pina colada or have a rum and coke. They want to come to Jamaica because they want to go out into the destination and explore and do different things. And we are excited about that, and we want to encourage that.
And then for the advisors who have clients that are into film tourism, Jamaica's the place.
It absolutely is the place. In 2023, we had two big films that were that included Jamaica. The migration film, which was about the ducks that migrated south to Jamaica. And the second one, of course, is the big one, which is Paramount's production of Bob Marley, One Love, which is the biopic on, truly one of the, if not the most recognizable mega music stars of the 20th century, of the 21st century rather. And we are happy to call him a son of Jamaica, and to the way he celebrated Jamaica as an artist and as a human being was quite noble, and I think it came out in the movie. I encourage everyone to go out and see the film. It opens on Valentine's Day in the U.S. And I've been privileged to see the premiere of it, and I can tell you it's worth going to see. If you're a Bob Marley fan, you'll want to see this movie.
And also, as long as they're James Bond films, there will always be Jamaica featured.
Absolutely. It's where he wrote all his novels. It's where, whenever there's a James Bond film, there's always reason to shoot scenes of the movie in Jamaica, and we love that partnership with the producers of that series, and we sequel, and we look forward to the next one.
There's so much more to talk about, but I want to just skip ahead. And how do we get travel advisors involved? You already mentioned the website. Is everything there? I know the calendar's there, so let's give that to them again.
Well, visitjamaica.com is the home for all things tourism in Jamaica. We are continually expanding that site and its capabilities. We've recently added a chatbot as part of our including AI in our execution of keeping people informed. Training, obviously, if you go there and you ask a question, you'll get a response, and if you don't get a response immediately, you can leave a message. There is a message board, and we'll come back to you. We're very focused on servicing the needs of not just the travel agents, but the needs of travelers around the world who want information about Jamaica. And so that's our focus, and that's what we've tried to do over the last 5 years, and we've had quite a bit of success with doing that, and we're going to continue to focus on making Jamaica the most accessible destination in the Caribbean, not just by airlift, but also by the service that they get entering the country, leaving the country, moving about in the country. It's part of what we mean when we say safety, security, and seamlessness are the 3 S's that we pride ourselves on in terms of ensuring that we deliver destination assurance.
I had to tell you, it was very inspiring to hear all the thought that's gone into this. It's not just a great destination, it's a thoughtful one.
It is. We certainly try to be.
Thank you for talking to us.
You're most welcome.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.